I have to jump out at 1:32. So yeah, good to spend some time with you guys.
Thank you. And I will share with you guys, and I think I should have started it right away. But wait for a few seconds and then we get going.
I have to jump out at 1:32. So yeah, good to spend some time with you guys.
Okay. And I will share with you guys, and I think I should have started it right away. But wait for a few seconds and then we get going. Okay. This is it. Submit. Okay. Wait for a few seconds. Okay. So do you guys hear me now?
We do.
Okay. So let me come back to this thing. Okay, I will explain what I have been doing, and I should ask Johanan first.
Yeah, I'll keep it brief, but we have a relatively complex process. So we're right now focused on an acquisition in healthcare. So that's just like we want to build out these sort of nodes of the holding company. And what we're doing is my wife and I both have a healthcare background, but all of our companies are not in healthcare, just to make it make more sense. So what we're doing is we actually have offshore team members that are doing the sourcing. So we have a company that we work with that basically does like lead gen, and they go and they have all the platforms, even including the paid platforms. And every day they work all the new leads. Maybe every day in healthcare on the West Coast, they might get 8, 10, some days as much as 20 leads. They work the leads, then they send emails out to the brokers, and then they consolidate those to the opportunities that they think make the most sense for me to get on a phone call with the broker. And then all I do is I just talk with only brokers and owners. That's my job. And then when we make an acquisition, my job is to bring the acquisition into the holdco, and then we hunt for the next company.
Awesome. So you are able to outsource that. So that means you must have created some SOPs for all these people.
That's right. And it's also very low cost. Like I think one thing I see that seems a little bit sort of a mistake that searchers make from my perspective. I don't know if mistake is the right word, but there's a way I think searchers could be a lot more efficient, which is to use some searchers, and in particular, Berkeley searchers are very good at this, of using interns. But interns are not as sophisticated as offshore people, and they don't necessarily need training. Like if they work for a BPO and they do lead gen, and you tell them do lead gen, but find me deals, they can turn it on in a day, and they can find every publicly visible deal within, a week. Okay. And that searcher might take 6 months to do that.
So when you're talking about publicly available deals, you're talking about things on BizBuySell, BizBen,
right? Yeah,
any
one of the platforms, including there's a few paid platforms that we use as well. I actually don't even know all the platforms that they use because I don't look at that. But I think if I were going to maybe just say one thing to searchers is like, what is keeping everyone from using VAs for like $8 or $10 an hour? Because just for my story, when I first started using this mode, we first started acquiring, I would search by myself for a year. I wouldn't find anything. Now we can usually find something where we get to LOI in less than 2 months because we literally see like every deal. So that's something I would put out there as like an efficiency that I feel like searchers sort of consistently miss.
Yeah. So you have given a very detailed laid out criteria to these people. What kind of a company is this and all that, because you are able to, you have identified your niche properly, I guess, right?
And we don't get stuck on price because we don't believe any of the SIM prices are real. We just look at the company itself, right? Yeah. So we don't look at price at all. We just sort of like, I think one of the guys already said it, they get to know you, they want to sell to you, prices change drastically. So we just look at the companies themselves, and then we do a mini Q of E as soon as I can, and then we get to LOI as soon as we can as well. So that's our methodology. It's sort of about volume and speed.
Yeah, no, that's a very, very good feedback. When you do a mini QFE, you do it in-house or you also have outsourced it?
we outsource that as well. It's actually the same team. We outsource it to the same.
Awesome. That's where I'm stuck at this point of time. So I'll share that with you. Robert. Anything?
Yep, off mute. Hey guys. So I've been refining my approach. I sort of started out just shotgun style, kind of like reaching out to brokers, and then I quickly got inundated and was unable to like feel like I was making any progress or good use of my time because I actually did hire a VA myself somewhat recently. I think I probably need to change that because I think the one that I'm working with is maybe not quite as knowledgeable as I'd like. So I think like that's maybe the only caution I would suggest from my own experience of having tried it once now. But I think that's probably just because I wasn't selective enough and didn't really like qualify the VA at all. But I've been mostly just looking for deals that get posted, out there online. My approach has been, because I have a real estate background and a lot of familiarity and like confidence with that space, I've been kind of focused on looking for deals that can have a real estate component and maybe carry the option to do something like a sale leaseback to monetize the property, or the business doesn't necessarily need to locate in the property and the property could be separately used for some higher and better use. So that's kind of how I've been screening. So a lot of those opportunities, get listed, whether it's the business for sale or the real estate for sale. So that's something that I've kind of realized is like a lot of the time the business will be for sale, but if it's owned, the real estate can come into play in negotiation too. Again, that's kind of specific to my orientation, but I just have a spreadsheet basically, and I've just kind of started, whenever I see something of interest, I reach out. I have a few columns with some notes for myself, and then if I connect with somebody, get a little information. I've just sort of been compiling, information together. So far, I've only actually made like 2 offers in total, one of which nothing happened. The other, there was some negotiation, and then the only reason that we didn't move forward is that basically my lender kind of said, we're not comfortable financing this like at all. And I was like, that's a pretty bad sign. So I moved on. But yeah, that's been my experience.
What kind of real estate, what kind of businesses do you think real estate is involved heavily? I am looking at assisted living facility or assisted living homes also. Are you also looking at similar?
Yeah, that's actually one of the key sort of categories where I think the real estate often is tied in. So if that's something that you're like actively pursuing, Sandeep, then we should maybe connect offline as well, because initially I was not attracted to assisted living just as a business. Like, I don't know, something about being around seniors and death. But on the other hand, I do keep seeing these deals come across where it'll be listed as real estate. It's not necessarily listed as a business for sale. But then when you look into it further, a lot of the time it's just like some independent kind of nursing home type operator, and they would sell the business as well. So, there's one I just saw actually this morning in like San Lorenzo. I don't know if you saw that come across, but
yeah, no, I am trying to, hear just to not to get it too deep into it, but I find that 6-bed limit here in California is a very big thing. So we'll take offline and talk.
Yeah,
I think what my research has shown, I have not owned any, boss, but I was also scared about getting into this field, but I have now decided to get into a couple of them to test it out with
interesting.
a couple of partners, but not in California. I've been thinking even in Michigan and Arizona and Nevada, as well as Texas. These are the areas which I'm looking at. Not because of something special, but only because I happen to know or have partners in that area, and I think somebody has to be there so that he or she can go and look at it. Right. Otherwise, I feel when you're taking care of seniors and an employee doesn't show up, you're screwed. if
Yeah,
you're 1,000 miles
I
away.
agree with that. And I
Right.
think there's a lot of other considerations that, you know, HIPAA, for example, comes into play when you're dealing with anything that's like healthcare related. So yeah, I've been trying to kind of educate myself a bit on that too, but
Yeah.
I do have a contact who, you know, I've known for some time, who's an extremely successful real estate investor who basically 90% of his portfolio has been in nursing home and
Yeah,
senior
we
care. And
should talk.
yeah,
And by the way, I have also been investing in Ohio and Indiana for rentals. So
okay, cool,
I think
cool.
we should talk.
Yeah, so I'll connect with you separately for
Yeah.
sure
Yeah.
on LinkedIn.
Yeah, thank you. And Garkon, do you have any additional information you would like to share here?
No, I mean, all the information I've been evaluating, as far as searching for, deals and things like that. I think my approach would be, because I was with the understanding belief that listing can be old, can be outdated, maybe the business is already sold, maybe the website have not been updated to show more recent and fresh deals. So one of my approach would be probably like if connecting directly with the with brokers and possibly just reaching out to them and making sure that your name and building that rapport with them. And then I don't know, in addition to using all the other, because there's a lot of different sites out there that have different deals, but who knows whether the deals are actually legit or actually they are trying to sell in their main business. So I think that would be a great approach as I go into this into my searching and things like that. I myself too, I have worked in the pharmaceutical industry. I started some startup in Sebring, Florida. Mainly clinical research, CRO, like some type of service along that line. So I'm mainly trying to focus in healthcare related to either providing some type of services to either a pharmaceutical company, a clinical research site, or a clinical research organization. So I think like Houston, Texas, like anywhere in the Midwest region, I think I'm open to that as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And I will update from myself. I've not acquired any yet, but I have given a few LOI with my partners here. I've for the last year or so, the delay and I wanted to tell it to everyone is that the delay was because I was told, or I was of the opinion based on some input I got from other people, that brokers usually jack up the price and you have to go direct and find the deals directly. And I spent a lot of effort was done by VAs, and I have my team outside of here also, or my team and all that. But the value of time I didn't understand. And then I think 8 months passed and not many deals came into my portfolio, and I switched my criteria now, and I'm now friends with many brokers also because I realized there's no harm in reaching out to them. And I think it was a learning for me, and I want to share with everyone else that finding a needle in the haystack kind of a thing is very difficult. You may get lucky, but chances are very, very less, even though I still continue to reach out to many people who are, say, 20-year-old businesses in the hope that I will strike with somebody who is driving to office and says, I'm done. But that's very difficult. That's what my approach right now is. I'm reaching out to many brokers, many biz buy sell and all that, and even broker websites. So I'm hoping, like we have already submitted a few LOIs this last couple of months, and we continue to do that now. And we are in control at this point of time. So thank you. Anything else? Yeah.
I would add to that and just say, everybody wants an off-market deal. It's sexy and it makes you feel special. It makes you feel like this is the one, and you do hear the stories about, the perfect fit and somebody made friends with the seller, and that's great. But, at the same time, I mean, look, if somebody lists their property for sale, it means they really want to sell. Yeah. And the price is it's just the way that they got to put a price on it. And then from there, the broker is hired to qualify the quality of the buyer. And, everything is always negotiable. So just from the real estate world, I've kind of come away with like, yeah, sure, you can find off-market deals and it is possible, but half the time, if somebody wanted to sell, they were already going to contact a broker. I mean, that they know that getting exposure is the most likely way to sell the property. So
Yeah.
unless there's some weird situation that you have that you bring to the table with that business, it's just not that likely, I think.
Yeah, I agree with you. So I think it was a great conversation for all of us. Is it okay if I do this every 2-3 weeks and
Please.
we can just, every 2 weeks and anybody can come in and meet and we form a group and maybe meet in person also someday.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay. Thank you very much. And you're welcome, Garcon, anytime.
Thank you. I appreciate
Nice
it.
to meet you guys.
Thank
Thanks,
you very much.
guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Bye-bye.
setting it up. Nice to meet you.
Nice meeting.